In a world driven by speed, precision, and data, humanity has created something extraordinary: machines that can think, analyze, and predict faster than we ever imagined. We have built systems capable of understanding patterns, processing emotions, and even mimicking creativity. What once took generations to learn, a machine can now master in hours. We call it progress, and in many ways it truly is. But beneath this brilliance lies a quiet question we rarely ask: what are we becoming in the process? The danger has never been that artificial intelligence will outsmart us. The real danger is that we might forget what makes us human. As we move deeper into the digital age, surrounded by algorithms that tell us what to buy, who to follow, and even what to believe, we are slowly handing over our judgment in exchange for convenience. We are letting machines do the thinking, and in doing so, we risk losing touch with the moral compass that once guided us. Progress is powerful, but progress without conscience is chaos disguised as innovation. The threat isn't in automation itself, it's in the automation of our morals. When we start to believe that efficiency is more important than empathy, that precision matters more than purpose, and that logic outweighs love, we begin to surrender the very qualities that make us who we are. Machines don't make mistakes, but they also don't make meaning. They can simulate understanding, but they cannot feel it. They can recognize emotion, but they cannot experience compassion. When humanity begins to mirror its own creations, cold, fast, and emotionally detached, we lose the essence of what gave birth to innovation in the first place. Technology is neutral. It reflects the values of its creator. If our intention is selfish, technology will amplify greed. If our purpose is noble, it will amplify goodness. The question isn't whether machines can think, but whether we can still think for ourselves, not just with our minds, but with our hearts. In our race to make life easier, we have started to forget that struggle is what gives life meaning. We have become obsessed with speed, with doing more, producing more, achieving more. But faster isn't always better. A life that moves too fast loses depth. A mind that never pauses loses reflection. A society that prioritizes profit over people will eventually collapse under the weight of its own emptiness. We created technology to serve us, not to define us. Yet the more we rely on it, the more we risk becoming like it, programmed, predictable, and disconnected. The real challenge of this century is not teaching machines to think, it's remembering how to feel. It's remembering that kindness is intelligence, that empathy is strength, and that morality is wisdom. The future is not about who can build the smartest machine, it's about who can remain the most human. Because no matter how advanced technology becomes, a world without humanity will never be truly intelligent. Machines are built to think fast. They are designed to process enormous amounts of information in milliseconds, to make precise calculations, to follow logic without hesitation, and to execute instructions without doubt or emotion. Their power lies in their speed, but speed is not the same as wisdom. Thinking fast is about processing. Thinking right is about understanding. A machine can compute data, but it cannot comprehend meaning. It can identify patterns, but it cannot interpret purpose. It can mimic emotion, but it can never feel the weight of a moral decision. That is where humanity stands apart. Thinking right requires heart, courage, and conscience. It is not about how fast we reach a conclusion, but about whether the conclusion aligns with what is right and just. The world may be racing forward, but sometimes slowing down is the most intelligent thing we can do. Because in the pause between impulse and action lies the space where ethics live. Thinking fast helps us survive, but thinking right helps us lead. Machines can make predictions, but only humans can make promises. They can choose the most efficient outcome, but only we can choose the most ethical one. There is no algorithm for integrity, no data model for compassion, no code that can replicate the moral reasoning that defines humanity. Our ability to think right means we can question our motives, examine our choices, and bear the responsibility of their consequences. Machines have no such burden. They act as they are programmed to act. But humans are not bound by programming. We are guided by principles. We have the freedom to choose empathy over efficiency, fairness over profit, and honesty over popularity. That freedom is our greatest gift, and also our greatest responsibility. The tragedy is that many people are starting to think like machines, reactive, impatient, and obsessed with results. We want instant answers, quick solutions, immediate rewards. We rush through decisions without reflection, valuing speed over substance. But when we think too fast, we stop thinking right. We forget to ask the most important question, is this the right thing to do? Our humanity begins to fade when we replace moral reasoning with mechanical reaction. The truth is, the mind can process, but only the heart can discern. To think right is to look beyond numbers and see lives, to look beyond data and see dignity. It means understanding that some decisions are not about winning, but about doing what's fair. Machines will continue to evolve, but they will never surpass us in wisdom, because wisdom is not a matter of memory or speed. It is a matter of soul. True intelligence is not measured by how much you know, but by how deeply you understand. The future will not reward those who think the fastest, but those who think with the greatest sense of humanity, because thinking fast might change the world, but thinking right will save it. Ethics is not an accessory to intelligence. It is the foundation that gives meaning to everything we create. Without ethics, intelligence becomes manipulation, and innovation becomes destruction. The power to create is extraordinary, but without moral direction, it can easily become the power to harm. Every great advancement in human history has carried a responsibility to use it wisely, to ensure it uplifts rather than exploits. A knife can save a life in the hands of a surgeon, but it can also take one in the hands of the careless. Fire can bring warmth or cause ruin. Technology is no different. The danger lies not in the invention itself, but in the intention behind it. As our machines become smarter, our responsibility must grow stronger. Because progress without principles is like a ship without a compass. It may move quickly, but it has no sense of where it's going or why. Ethics are what separate creation from corruption. They are the invisible guardrails that protect us from turning intelligence into arrogance. They remind us that just because we can do something doesn't always mean we should . The question of ethics is the question of intention. What purpose do we serve by building, by advancing, by innovating? The moment that purpose shifts from helping humanity to merely profiting from it, we lose our way. The pursuit of power without the guidance of morality leads to a hollow kind of success, one that looks impressive from the outside but is empty within. True intelligence is not measured by how advanced our systems become, but by how responsibly we use them. Every innovation should be guided by the question, does this make the world better? If the answer is unclear, then we must stop and reflect before moving forward. Ethics give intelligence direction. They ensure that progress is rooted in purpose. When ethics lead, technology becomes a force for good. When ethics are ignored, it becomes a force of destruction. We've seen this truth unfold throughout history. Every misuse of knowledge, every collapse of trust, every abuse of power began when someone decided that results mattered more than doing what's right. We cannot afford to repeat that mistake in the age of artificial intelligence. The more powerful our tools become, the greater our moral obligation to use them with care. It is not enough to ask, can we build it? We must also ask, should we, and who will it serve? The future depends not on how intelligent our machines are, but on how ethical we remain as humans. Our moral compass must evolve alongside our technology, not lag behind it, because if innovation outpaces our integrity, we will find ourselves lost in a world of brilliance without balance, progress without peace. Our creations are reflections of our character. When guided by ethics, they heal, inspire, and unite. But when stripped of morality, they divide, control, and destroy. The future we build depends entirely on the values we choose to uphold today. To be human is to feel, to care, to question, and to protect what is right even when it is difficult. Responsibility cannot be programmed into a system. It must be consciously chosen by the individual. Every action we take, every innovation we introduce, and every decision we make shapes the kind of world we will live in tomorrow. The responsibility of being human is not just to create, but to ensure that what we create reflects the best of who we are. Technology gives us the power to build faster, to connect wider, and to solve problems we never thought possible. But it also gives us the power to harm if we are careless. Responsibility means recognizing that every invention carries a consequence, every action a ripple, and every choice a weight. We must not confuse ability with wisdom or power with purpose. Just because we have the means to do something does not mean it is the right thing to do. The true measure of intelligence is not how much we can achieve, but how consciously we choose to achieve it. Responsibility begins with awareness of impact, of influence, and of intention. When we create, we must ask ourselves, will this serve humanity or exploit it? Will it bring people closer together or drive them further apart? Every new piece of technology, every new idea, holds the potential to transform the world for better or worse. And the choice lies not in the machine, but in its maker. Responsibility means being willing to pause, to reflect, and to question before acting. It means being humble enough to admit that progress without empathy is dangerous, that intelligence without restraint is reckless. The world does not need more people who can move fast. It needs more people who can move wisely. Responsibility is the discipline of progress. It ensures that our advancements are guided by conscience, not consumed by ambition. The danger is not that machines will become more like humans, but that humans will become more like machines. When we lose our ability to feel compassion, to show patience, and to act with kindness, we become cold and reactive, driven only by results and numbers. But responsibility reminds us that life is not a transaction, it is a trust. The power we hold as creators, innovators, and thinkers comes with an obligation to protect what truly matters: human dignity, connection, and fairness. We are the guardians of the values that machines cannot understand: love, justice, empathy, and sacrifice. These are not codes that can be programmed. They are choices that must be lived. Our greatest responsibility is to ensure that the future we build is worthy of being lived in. Technology should serve humanity, not replace it. Our inventions should make us more compassionate, not more complacent. The more power we hold, the more careful we must be with how we use it. Responsibility is not about control, it is about care. It is about remembering that progress without protection is destruction disguised as growth. The duty of being human is not simply to advance, but to advance with heart, to build a future guided not only by intelligence, but by integrity. The future will not be defined by artificial intelligence, but by authentic humanity. The world ahead will belong not to those who build the smartest machines, but to those who lead with the strongest values. Technology may shape our tools, but ethics will shape our destiny. Machines can think fast, but only humans can think right, and that difference will decide whether our progress becomes a blessing or a burden. We are living in a time when intelligence is everywhere, but wisdom is becoming rare. We have more information than ever before, yet less understanding. We are connected digitally, but divided emotionally. The truth is, our challenge is no longer about creating intelligent machines. It is about sustaining moral humans. The future will reward not just innovation, but intention, not just those who can invent, but those who can inspire. Because when ethics lead the way, technology follows with purpose. We must remember that machines mirror us. They are shaped by our values, our biases, our intentions. If we feed them greed, they will multiply greed. If we guide them with compassion, they will serve compassion. The real question is not how much machines will change the world, but how we will change ourselves while creating them. The moral crisis of our generation is not the rise of machines, but the fall of morals. We fear that robots will replace us, yet the true danger is that we will replace ourselves, that we will abandon empathy for efficiency and sacrifice integrity for convenience. When we forget what it means to be human, no technology can save us. But when we choose to lead with ethics, no machine can defeat us. Our humanity is not a weakness, it is our greatest strength. It gives meaning to intelligence and purpose to progress. Empathy, integrity, and conscience must be the cornerstones of the new era. These are not outdated ideals. They are the foundation of any future worth building. The more powerful our technology becomes, the more vital our ethics must be. Machines will continue to evolve, but they will never feel wonder, compassion, or love. Those are uniquely human powers, the kind that no algorithm can replicate. The future will not be written in code, but in character. It will belong to those who understand that success without ethics is failure in disguise. The world doesn't need more intelligent machines, it needs more ethical minds. The danger was never in the creation of intelligence, but in the destruction of conscience. When we forget that progress without purpose is regression, we risk building a world that is efficient but empty, advanced but unkind, intelligent but soulless. But if we hold on to what makes us human, our compassion, our humility, our ability to care, we will rise above our own inventions. Because intelligence without conscience is hollow, but humanity with integrity is unstoppable, the goal is not to make machines more human, it is to ensure humans never become machine-like. The future belongs to those who think not just fast, but right, those who choose empathy over ego, principle over power, and ethics over everything. And as long as we remember that, no machine will ever replace the heart that beats behind every act of true intelligence.